Hello, online crew. Let's talk about your mind. Let's talk about your brain. Let's talk about how you can reprogram your mind to get rid of those negative thoughts. How many of you have that little voice in your head that creeps in every now and again and tells you things like you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or who's going to listen to you, or you're too old, or to start something new, or to make it work, or the little voice that always kind of shuts us down? Do you have that little voice? I reckon anybody that says they don't have that little voice in their head would be lying. Even the most successful people in the world, billionaires, they still have a little voice that tells them sort of certain things. So, how do we get rid of that little voice that holds you back from doing the things that you know you need to do and want to succeed with in life? That's what we're going to talk about in today's live. So, if we haven't met before, my name's Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain. I am here to serve our amazing online crew of social sellers, those in the network marketing industry. You are wanting to build online, you want to leverage the internet, but build in a way where you're a human before a marketer. So, what I specialize in is the ABC of social selling, which is attracting people to you, building influence and a brand, and then converting those people to customers and team members. So if you want to do that in a way where you're a human before a marketer, then you're in the right place. Now, if you're not aware, this is the first live video of the week that I do, is always something to do with personal growth and personal development, something to make you really think or to help you be a better version of yourself, because it is not all the social media skills that's going to make you successful. You can learn how to do reels and TikTok and curiosity posts and social media, strategies and systems and duplication and all those kind of things. Yes, they're wonderful, but deep down, the only person that's going to make you successful and put more money in your bank account is you. Your personality, your beliefs, the way you think, the way you work, the actions that you take. So if you hold yourself back, if you're overwhelmed all the time, if you're not doing the things that you know you need to do, you're not talking to people about your business, you're not putting the social media content out there because you find it too overwhelming, whatever it is, whatever's stopping you achieving the things that you go and need to do to be successful, that probably comes down to a little voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, or you're not good looking enough to be on social media, or it's too late in life, or whatever it is. Okay, so if you're joining me live, please say hello. Would love to give you a shout out. Hello, Dean. How are you? Good to see you on. Creeps in too often. I get it. Creeps in too often. The trick is with this, it'll never not creep in, ever. So we've got to be realistic about that. So the negative thoughts, you haven't achieved what you want to achieve in life so far, and you're disappointed. Okay, that's always going to creep in. The thing is, how do you shift that and change that so it doesn't become your normal? It just creeps in and then you flick it right back out again, because it's still going to creep in. Okay. So the way that you think will make or break you. Your thoughts, you probably know this already. Your thoughts create your beliefs, which create your actions, which create your results. So everything stems from your thoughts. So if you believe that you can be really successful, you will be. If you doubt whether you're ever going to get there, you won't. Because those thoughts make up your beliefs. Your beliefs is what the actions that you take. And either people will take action and just go for it, or you'll hold yourself back. Or, you'll get yourself into overwhelm. But what you need to understand is your thoughts are habitual. They've come from potentially when you were a kid. So if you've got limiting beliefs, if you've got things that you say to yourself that are not that positive, you question whether you can do this, you question whether you're ever going to be successful, That's all coming from the thoughts. Those questions are all coming from the thoughts in your head. They are habitual. They've been around not just this year. They've probably been around last year and the year before and the year before and all of that kind of stuff. And they've probably come from your childhood. Some of your beliefs are actually subconscious. They're not something that you necessarily think consciously. They're just there. So you will often find yourself get into a state of overwhelm, overthinking, procrastination, doubting yourself, doubting your abilities, buying every course under the sun and not doing anything with it, doubting your abilities to put content out on social media, all of those doubts, all those kind of things. You often do it without even realizing you're doing it because it's buried in your subconscious. I've talked about a lot about this previously. So one, you need to recognize that a lot of your thoughts that are happening are habitual and stem from your childhood. Maybe somebody told you when you were really young you weren't good enough, or you couldn't do something, or don't do that. That's not realistic. Maybe you were entrepreneurial spirit when you were younger and somebody squashed it because it wasn't the norm. Oh no, you can't do something like that. You need to go and get a 9-to-5 job. Whatever it is. But what you need to realize now, you're an adult. You have choices. You can reprogram the way that you think. You've just got to take responsibility for that. And you've got to put some things into practice to make that happen. And do not expect it to happen overnight because it won't. You can't change the way that you think overnight. You can't change from being somebody that sways towards the negative to somebody that's openly positive all the time overnight. It takes practice, but you've got to build the muscle and you've got to practice to make it happen. Are you willing to do that? I would like to think you are. If you're listening to this or the replay of this, as to sort of how you do it, you have to do it over and over and over and over and over again for it to stick. Okay, because it takes time. So through deliberate thoughts of substitution is how you, so just take that on board for a second. Deliberate thoughts of substitution is how you do it. So do you understand what I mean by that? Deliberate thoughts of substitution. So this is where, number one, you have to have a high level of awareness of the ridiculous things that you say to yourself. Because most of your thoughts come from your subconscious. That'll play out where, have you ever had the same thing happen over and over again? It's like, here we are again. How did I end up here again? How did I end up buying another course and not doing anything with it? You're in the same pattern. Have you ever been had multiple relationships, but you've ended up in the same negative type relationships, whether that's a partner or friendships, people that use you, walk all over you, whatever it is. Have you ever had things in your life where the pattern reappears? That's your subconscious doing that. It's your pattern of behavior because of your pattern of thoughts. And if that's not serving you, if you are not where you want to be, if you do not have the amount of money in your bank account that you want, if you're not being successful in whatever your pursuits are, you are not thinking the best way to set yourself up for success for that. So one, you have to have a very high level of awareness of the things that you tell yourself and catch it as soon as it comes in. When you're saying, I don't know if I can do this, I can't do that, I struggle with, I have challenges around. All of that is a negative pattern of thought. As long as you tell yourself you can't, you won't, you shouldn't, you struggle, you're challenged by, you have difficulty with, you'll end up fighting for your own words, your own thoughts, because that will be your reality. I know you already know this. Okay, I find that difficult. As long as you tell yourself you find something difficult, guess what? You'll find it to be difficult. I'm not good at that. Well, if you tell yourself you're not good at it, you won't be good at it. Your thoughts are the most powerful thing running your life. But you can take the responsibility, have deliberate thoughts of substitution. As soon as those things come in, you go, no, I'm not thinking that way anymore. And you change it. So you have deliberate thoughts of substitution, or you tell yourself something every day. And I know this is the non-sexy, boring stuff you don't want to do, but you absolutely have to do this to reprogram your thoughts. You have to start with things that are really positive, that you believe, to start setting yourself up for success. So it's the little things like, I am a good person who is trying their absolute best. I am a good person. I'm a good person. I'm working hard at this, and I will work my way through this because I deserve to be happy. Do you believe that? You have to tell yourself, you have to reprogram your thoughts and say something over and over and over and over again before the actions start playing out. Do you remember what I said before? Your thoughts create your beliefs, which create the actions, which create the results. So if your thoughts are positive, they'll create new beliefs. New beliefs will create new actions, which will create new results. But unless you reprogram the way that you think, none of the rest can flow. The actions won't flow. You'll stop yourself every step of the way. You'll procrastinate. You'll know you'll need to do something and you won't do it because you'll stop yourself in your tracks because you don't really believe it. So here's some examples. I'm a good person who tries their best. I deserve to be happy and I will make this work. But you need to believe what you say to yourself. Okay? I'm doing my best and that's good enough and I will improve. Okay? You need to say things to yourself every single day. It's exactly the same as you going to a gym. You walk into the gym. Do your muscles grow by walking into the gym? Oh, I'm at the gym. I've got my outfit on. I've got my sneakers on, my joggers, my runners, whatever you want to call them. I'm at the gym. Are your muscles going to build just because you've walked into the gym? No, you need to do the hard yards and you need to go back day after day after day and put the hard yards in for the muscles to grow. It's exactly what you need to do to your mind. You need to put the hard yards in. You need to deliberately substitute negative thoughts with different sayings and say it over and over and over again. But don't bother doing that if you don't believe it. If you say, I'm a good person and I deserve to be happy and I will make this work, and you actually then like seconds later go, oh, I don't know if I can make this work, that's not the right wording for you. You have to believe what it is that you tell yourself that you're setting yourself up for success for. So often starting with something generic like, I am a good person, I am doing my best and I deserve to be happy. If that's something that you believe, you're a good person, you're doing your best, and you deserve to be happy, that might be your starting point every day for weeks, and then you build on that. If you're not a good person, then find some other wording. If you're not doing your best, then find some other wording. But do you deserve to be happy? Yes. Do you deserve to be successful? Yes, everybody does. But believe it before you say it. But if you take the responsibility on as an adult to know you need to change your thoughts to set yourself up for success, you have to take the deliberate action of substituting the thoughts that are going through your mind. You're run by your subconscious. Your subconscious will tell you stuff that doesn't serve you. Can you relate to that? Is there stuff that runs through your mind every day that tells you you're not good enough, or you're probably never going to make it, or you're wondering, am I ever going to make it? Am I ever going to make this work? Whatever you relate that to, like your business, earning more money, whatever it is that you're doing. If that's the thoughts that creep in all the time, you'll never change. And if you've been the result of who you are up until this point of time, but you can change if you want to. Do you want to? That's up to you. But you can actually pre-program your mind. It is possible. You can do it, but it's not going to, it's not going to happen overnight. You have to take deliberate action and have a deliberate substitution of thoughts to even get started with reprogramming your mind. But you can do it if you want to do it. Do you want to do it? You make those kind of mantras like cleaning your teeth. Hopefully you clean your teeth twice a day. So what I've just shared with you, those kind of things that you believe, you have to believe what it is that you say to yourself. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. There are people that say all the time, I will be successful. And then the little voice comes in and goes, maybe not. Well, I don't really know. But they spend their days doing these mantras going, I will be a millionaire. But deep down, you don't ever think you're going to be a millionaire. You're wasting your breath. It's not about that. It's not about telling yourself false things that deep down you don't believe. It's about telling yourself something positive about yourself that you actually believe in. I am a good person. I am trying my best and I deserve to be happy. Now, maybe that's something that you can believe. Start there. When that becomes your new normal, when you tell yourself that over and over again and that becomes your new normal, then you can build on that. When you build this muscle in your mind, over time, you can reprogram the way you default think. Because we all default think. So your default thinking now maybe not serving you too well. It may be the massive stumbling block that stopped you being successful. Your default thinking could be letting you down. Does anybody relate to that? Like now, you might not be consciously aware of that, but you know through your results, like you're struggling financially, you're struggling in your business, you're struggling to show up on social media, you're struggling to put authentic content out there. If you're struggling with all of those things, a couple of things around that. If you tell yourself you struggle, you'll continue to struggle. So don't do that. But if that's what you think your truth is now, then there's things that are not serving you with the way that you think. Because when you truly believe that you can be successful and you truly believe that you can earn more money and that you truly believe that you can attract the right people to you through social media, and there are enough people out there for you to attract your tribe and me to attract mine and everybody else to attract theirs. Do you believe that? Start believing it. There are people out there that need to hear from you. There are people out there waiting for you to show up and be your true, authentic self and share a message and help them. But do you believe you can do that? You've got to believe that you can do that for those people to show up. So as an adult, as a grown adult, take responsibility and start deliberately substituting the negative thoughts that come into your head and practice it over and over and over and over again. But start with some kind of daily mantra, every day, all day, whenever you think about it, with something like what I shared before. I am a good person. I am doing my best. And I deserve to be happy. And you could even put in there, I deserve to be wealthy, or I deserve to be comfortable, or I deserve not to struggle. Maybe that's your wording to start off. But if you believe that and you believe that to your core and you say it over and over and over again, you start to rewire and reprogram the negative stuff. So your new normal becomes, no, I'm not accepting anything less than that. I deserve more than that. I'm worth more than that. Some of you don't value your own self-worth. Otherwise, you wouldn't put up with what you put up with from loved ones around you or the way that people treat you. And remember, the way that people treat you is not about you. It's a reflection on the person and what they feel about themselves. You're just getting the, it's directed at you. Like all of that, all of that's tied into it. If you are treated poorly by people around you, or you feel misunderstood by people around you, or people don't support you in this journey that you're on in this business, that's not about you. It's got nothing to do with you. It's about their personal feelings about certain things, and sometimes about themselves. That's why jealousy kicks in sometimes. Jealousy is, when people treat you poorly, it could be, they're jealous of what you're doing. That's about them. It's how people treat you has got nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Okay? But what you do achieve in life or don't is completely up to you. Now, you've got a choice. You can actively change that and take responsibility for that. And first and foremost, have a high level of awareness of the crappy things that you say to yourself or think. Like I was lying in bed this morning thinking about how I was thinking. You need to think about the way that you think. And it's like, I shouldn't really be thinking that way. I need to change that way of thinking. I tell myself that all the time. That's not a really positive way to think about that situation. You need to change the way you think about that. And then I might start like a new thought process or a new affirmation that I tell myself. Because it's like, no, you deserve better than that. Or no, you're not organized. You need to rejig that or whatever. Like I'm thinking about the way that I'm thinking all the time. If I can encourage you to think about the way that you think, then that's a really good starting point. And then when you can, as a responsible human being, as an adult, if you can deliberately substitute your words with deliberate words, you've got half a chance to do better. Remember, it's going to be a slow journey. But catch words like, I don't know, I can't, I struggle with, I'm challenged by, I don't know if I can, I don't know if it's too late, I don't know if I can work this out. Like you don't, you can't, those kind of words, catch them. Well, I can actually. I can. That's what you need to turn around and say to yourself. I actually can. If I pulled my finger out and changed the way that I worked or thought about things, I can do that. I just need to learn it. There's a lot of things that you can do if you just learn how to do it. That's the skill that comes in. So like I often say, it's not, you can learn skills. You can learn how to do a reel. You can learn how to do a TikTok. You can learn how to write a curiosity post. You can learn to write a social media calendar. You can learn AI. You can learn all of that stuff. That's not beyond you. What might be beyond you is your capacity on how you think about yourself with where you're going to end up, your limitations or otherwise. I tell you, your thoughts are the things, first and foremost, that are going to help you be successful. It's not all the social media stuff at all. They're learnt skills. Yes, you need them to be successful on social media. But first and foremost, it's the way that you think about yourself and what you can and can't achieve. And you will fight for your limitations. So what I mean by that is if you tell yourself, I don't know if I can, you won't. So tell yourself that you can. If you don't believe you can, then tell yourself something like, no, I'm going to figure this out. Tell yourself that. That could be believable. I'm going to figure this out. I deserve to be happy. I'm going to figure this out. I just am. I'm going to figure it out. And you believe it. And when you start with those brain patterns, waves, programming going off, Opportunities will present themselves. Windows of time and opportunity will just present themselves because you're now thinking like you can instead of like you can't. Who's up for the challenge? Hello, Julie. Good to see you. That's right, Dean. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Hi, Karina. Lovely to see you on. It will happen. Yeah, believe it. It will happen. It can happen. But you have to have a huge level of awareness around the little voice that comes in and, you know, your daily mantras, whatever it is that you say to yourself first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Tell yourself something just as a starting point. Something like, you know, I'm a good person. I'm trying my best. I will make this work, or I can make this work, and I deserve to be happy. Just start thinking the best for yourself instead of letting that little subconscious creep in and, you know, you're feeling the overwhelm, you're feeling the doubt, you're feeling the negativity, you're feeling the procrastination, because that's what we're run by subconsciously. So you have to deliberately substitute thoughts into your mind to overcome the subconscious negative stuff that runs you every day. Are you hearing me? If you're watching live or catching the replay, I just want to know that you've heard me, because this is what will change your world. It's just, you know, easy to say, it's words, but if you put it into practice, you can start changing the, you know, the results, because your thoughts will be different and your thoughts create the actions which create the results. Okay. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope you got something out of this and that you'll actually go and do something with this information to start changing the way that you think and setting yourself up for success, because you are worth it and you do deserve it. Okay. This is the last week of my lives before I break for Christmas for a couple of weeks. So please join me for my other 2 lives later in the week. I've got more great content for you, more social media type content, but I'm not going live next week or the week after. So I do hope to see you later in the week for my other 2 lives. Okay, I'll catch you then.